The morning newscast you count on. Updated news, developing stories, and weather and traffic on the fours. This is KARK4 Today in high definition.
Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to KARK4 Today here on The Z. I'm Matt Mosler.
And I'm Mallory Harden. Thanks for waking up with us.
Well, coming up in this half hour, fighting cybercrime. Authorities in Central Arkansas speak out about their mission to get internet criminals behind bars. What they say parents need to do to keep their kids safe, straight ahead.
And heading to Hollywood, the story of the West Memphis Three could soon be in a theater near you, as the Devil's Knot book is now being turned into a feature film. Find out who's picked up the project coming up.
And deja vu, once again, the newest iPhone prototype was left behind in a California restaurant. What Apple officials are doing to get it back in this half hour. Coincidence?
Oh, how history
I
repeats
think
itself.
not.
We called it from the beginning. The first time it happened, we thought it might be publicity,
Yeah.
but two times.
Or someone's just really irresponsible.
Yeah, do not take the new iPhone to the bar.
Let's start off with our Thursday morning headlines, and Wendy.
Good morning, guys. Good morning, everyone. President Obama has called for a joint session of Congress next week to unveil his plan to create jobs and kickstart the economy. Taking a quick look at your headlines now. The problem is he requested it for the same night as a Republican presidential debate. And that had Republicans crying foul. House Speaker John Boehner politely told the president he can wait a day. Initially, the White House fired back.
Again, there's one president, there's 20 some odd debates, there's, this is an important moment for our economy. Congress is just coming back. He is addressing an issue that is of great significance to the American people as well as to the Congress.
But now the White House is backpedaling. In a statement last night, the White House quietly accepted the alternate date suggested by Speaker Boehner. The new date, September 8th, will now compete for viewers with the first NFL game of the season. Well, here at home, a Fort Smith man behind bars this morning charged with internet stalking of a teenager. Marcus Terrell Tucker is accused of enticing a girl online and then on her cell phone. Well, it's a problem that's unfortunately far too common, and one police say is getting hard to fight. Sergeant Mike Blaine with the Pulaski County Sheriff's Office says there are hundreds of open cases. So many, they have to pick only the most dangerous to track down. He says it's no longer as easy as setting up stings in internet chat rooms. Now they have to track Facebook, cell phones, even game consoles. That's why he says parents are the most effective protectors. If you need help talking to your children, you can go to our website, arkansasmatters.com. The story of the West Memphis Three, as told by an Arkansas author, is headed to the big screen. According to The Hollywood Reporter, director Adam Egoyan was already at work transforming Mara Leverett's Devil's Knot into a feature film before Damian Eccles, Jesse Misskelley, and Jason Baldwin were freed earlier this month. He says he's convinced there's a story of human drama behind the trial still waiting to be told. The $20 million independent project is set to begin this spring. And 7:04 is your time now. Let's check in with Greg D for our weather on the fours. Hey there, Greg.
Good morning, Wendy. Good morning, everyone. On this Thursday morning, warm start out there in the 70s and the low 80s around the state. 97 degrees this afternoon. Partly sunny skies. The heat index values likely near 100. Current temperatures out there around the state in the low to mid 70s from Mountain Home, Marshall, down towards Clinton, where the current reading is 72. Little Rock in the mid 70s, a couple of upper 60s even showing up in Sheridan and Benton, 69, 74 in Danville, 71 in Hot Springs, and 69 in Malvern. Many folks leaving Hot Springs this afternoon, headed up toward Conway for the big game. We'll have your game day forecast for UCA versus Henderson State coming up. Storm system well off to the north in the northern plains. That's headed into southern Canada. For us, it's a south and southeast flow on the backside of high pressure. That means hot temperatures and increasing humidity through the afternoon. Mainly sunny by later today. Your highs climbing at least into the mid, some upper 90s, and western and northwest Arkansas likely getting up to near 100. Your forecast for Little Rock today, 97 light southerly winds, a heat index over 100. 74 overnight, light southerly winds. Here's your extended forecast, which of course includes Labor Day. Friday and Saturday in the mid-90s, low 90s on Sunday with a couple of thunderstorms in the afternoon. Check out that cool down to the mid-80s for your Labor Day. That's your weather on the fours. Here's your Kissin' Total Traffic.
630 eastbound with a couple of slow spots right around the Baptist exit and heading into downtown. Once you pass Fair Park, you'll find some extra volume to deal with there. Still accident-free according to state and local police, and all the inbounds to get into the metro, those are flowing very freely for the moment. I'm Neil Kelly from the Kissin 96 Total Traffic Center.
Thank you, Neil. Your time now is 7:06, and to national news now, as President Obama is pushing Congress to extend legislation that funds highway and mass transit projects before it expires next month. The president argues extending the service transportation bill would protect almost 1 million jobs and strengthen the nation's infrastructure. Mr. Obama said allowing politics to potentially block the bill's renewal is unacceptable and inexcusable.
Well, recently we've had an earthquake and a hurricane and now a massive wildfire. A North Texas wildfire that broke out Tuesday continues to rage, threatening homes and forcing hundreds of evacuations. The fire has burned at least 25 buildings and more than 7,000 acres around Possum Kingdom Lake. More than 200 firefighters using air tankers, helicopters, and bulldozers are dealing with hot and dry conditions with gusting winds. And flooding remains a problem in the Northeast as people try to clean up after Irene. Parts of Middletown, Connecticut are covered with water after the Connecticut River crested Wednesday morning. And up in Vermont, thousands of people have been stranded by washed out roads and bridges caused by heavy rain. This over the weekend. Now officials say emergency road access has been restored to all towns in the state.
And another storm is brewing in Washington over how to pay for all of the disaster relief the federal government faces after what's become a record year for weather disasters. The White House, FEMA, and Democrats are promising that relief funds will keep flowing. But Republicans want spending cuts elsewhere to offset it. Here's NBC's Chris Clackham.
Immediate relief like airlifts of food and water to people stranded in areas ravaged by Irene will continue, but that may be all, according to FEMA Administrator Craig Fugate.
I do not have enough money to rebuild, but we do have money to continue to respond to support individual assistance, and that's our priority right now.
Yeah, that's a breach.
Even with 4 months left, Hurricane Irene set a record for the most billion-dollar weather disasters in a single year the U.S. has ever had. A year that included destructive snowstorms and devastating floods and tornadoes, and has left FEMA with less than $800 million in its coffers right now. Fugate has even had to put on hold rebuilding projects from the tornadoes in Joplin, Missouri, and Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
For any projects that have not come in for approval, we're not going to be able to fund those at this point. We're going to postpone those.
Postpone, not cancel, because FEMA and the president are hoping to convince reluctant Republicans to release extra money for extraordinary times. For example, Katia is now the 11th named storm of a season that's just now getting active.
As a government, we're going to make sure that states and communities have the support they need so their folks can recover.
Many Republicans, though, oppose increased FEMA funding unless there are spending cuts elsewhere. Chris Clackham, NBC News.
Thank you, Chris. 7:09 is your time after the break. Of first for the war in Iraq and update on soldier safety. That's straight ahead.
And deja vu. An iPhone 5 is now floating around after an employee leaves a prototype at a local California bar. How Apple is now trying to get it back when we come back. Time now 10 minutes after 7.